Here I am again. My grandfather, Henry White, Methodist minister, my mother. I went to Hawaii. I had the opportunity to fly a PT-17 approximately 4 or 5 years ago. One hell of a flight. God.
Were you sold? Were you by yourself in the plane?
No. Heck no.
That's why
I'm too old. No, I'm serious. My reflexes are.
I can understand.
My reflexes are. In fact, my reflexes get me to the place where I stop driving. Sitting there next to my granddaughter, and I watched that car ahead, and to myself, I said, you know one thing? I cannot take my foot off the brake, off the accelerator, to put my foot on the brake, stop it from hitting that car. Time for me to stop driving. And I handed her my keys. Ernestine, where are you?
Right here.
There she is. All I can say, Ernestine. Ernestine. Thank God. Ernestine came to Detroit from California, decided to retire, saw a house, bought the house, and said, Granddad, would you like to? Hell yes, I would. God help you, best thing ever happened. There's a PT-17 where we first started to fly. And ironically, Brian Smith, who was president of the Detroit, not Detroit, the Tuskegee Museum at historic Fort Wayne. We also have a hangar. The museum has a hangar at City Airport. And in that city airport, we have 2 of these airplanes. Wish I could fly. There's a glamour picture here. That's the one you send to the girl. And you notice everybody's smoking. Cigarettes were 5 cents a pack in the good old days. Bachelor of Science. Came out of Clark College as a Bachelor of Science.
PMOC.
Big man on campus. Now, my mother's brother is a mechanic in New York City, and he gave this car to my mother. Mom did not drive. My dad did not drive. The damn thing sat in the garage. And when I graduated, I said, Mom, when I came out of high school, Mom, can I have the car? She says, of course. I'm 15 and a half, and I drove that car to Atlanta, Georgia. Because now, US 25, you're two-lane highway. And during my 4 years at Clark College, big man on campus. Fun.
you survived.
Clark College, Atlanta, Georgia. When I was approximately one day at high school, my father had a job working at Marquette, McGraw and Marquette. A foundry with a foundry run by the man who was a black man who invented the lubricator.
Elijah McCoy.
McCoy. McCoy had a factory at McGraw and Marquette. And in that factory, in the back, there was a foundry. This is where my dad worked. One day he forgot his lunch. Mom said, here it is, you go. We lived on 28th Street, 28th in Michigan, 2 miles away. When I got to the factory, I had one said, where'll I find Mr. Jefferson? He said, oh, Jeff is in the back. Went back through the office. Finally got to the foundry in the back of the room. Back, hotter than hell, middle of July. There's my dad, stripped his waist on the end of a ladle, pouring hot aluminum. I said to myself, damn it, if I ever get out of this goddamn place, I'll never get in a foundry again. Put me back, I was flunking Chatsey High School. I was flunking. Put me back in class and I got news for you, kid. I started making A's. In first place, there were only 4 or 5 blacks at Chatsey at the time. And I was an outcast. I didn't attend any clubs, after school clubs. So I stayed in the chemistry lab. I became a damn nerd. Oh yeah. Survived. And as such, I came out of Chatsey High School, making A's and B's. We went through that once before. This is like, oh, by the way, anybody here know what S2 in the Army means? S2, the Army. Army Intelligence. S2, Intelligence. S2 times 175 20 millimeters with 4 barrels each, divided by the third right equals what? 1 POW minus 1 P51. Because when I got out of that damn thing, it went in. I bailed out. I landed in the trees. Of course, the airplane was a wreck. Equals 1 POW minus 1 P51. That was the beginning. Good to see you here. For those of you who came in late, on graduation day, January the 7th, 1944, when we received our wings after 9 months of training. It's my sister on the left, Emma, then my grandfather, Henry White, then my mother, Jane Jefferson, and Gwendolyn Coffey, one of my first cousins. Margot. I knew Margot for about 2 months.
But you named your plane after her.
Yes. I admit it, yeah. At that time, let's face it, you're 22, you, one here, one there, one there, one there, oh God. There it is. A flight, oh, when I talk about a flight is made up of 4 planes. First, an element. 2 airplanes fly together. They stay together approximately, 15 to 20, about 75 to 100 feet apart. Because one can watch the tail end of the other one. Watch the tail end of the other one. When they turn, they stay together. If you have an element, you put 2 elements together to make a flight. 2 elements together make a flight. 4 flights make a squadron. Somebody often said, how do you communicate? Well, in the first place, every squadron has a name. You have it? I can't remember the name of the damn squadron. I mean, the flight. A flight, no. We'll get around to it later on. It'll come. Things you had to wear: oxygen mask, May West, go down in water. There's a picture. Not an actual picture. This is a painting. The guy painted this. We used to bring back guys, B-17 full flat, and then hit. There's a B-51. The experience of flying a B-51 is great. During the war, it was the epitome. Better than the 109s, and the Falcon was 190s. For those of you who came in, that's me on the left. I drew this picture in prison camp. The Germans didn't care, but those are radar stations we were aiming at. And these radar stations control the guns that fired out from the shore, the large guns. We did not know that the invasion of southern France came off on August the 15th. This is August the 12th. Our job was to knock out the radar stations, all the buildings that control those big towers. As I went across the top of the station, about, 100 feet, boom. Then a shell came up through the floor. I often say, if it had been 6 more inches, the family jewels. It was close. They came in, went out to the top of the canopy. Fire came up out of the floor, so I had to bail out. During 9 months of training, never 1 minute on how to bail out. So what do? You do what what you had to do under the circumstances. And do it, no. Damn fire's coming up out of the floor. We're at, oh hell, 200 feet, treetop height. Pull back on the stick to get some altitude. Now, I have no idea how high I got. Approximately 800 feet, maybe 1,000. At the same time, reach up on the left and pull the little red knob, and the canopy goes off. With your left hand, you have a little wheel down here that controls the elevators. You rack it forward. So if you take your hand off the stick, the nose of the airplane will go down. You pull that sucker up, you get up here, and turn the stick loose. When you turn it loose, the nose pops forward. And when it pops forward, boom, I hit that safety belt, and I came out. Centrifugal force. When I came out, I thought I had a picture showing you when I came out.
Right there.
Well, that was it. That was it. I came out, and when I came out, I looked down, and I saw some trees. I said, oh, hell. Pull that sucker real fast. And when the parachute popped, I'm swinging into the trees. All of a sudden, I hear a voice. Oxo! Goddamn German. And this is occupied France. So he helps me get out of the trees. And as the German saw the little gold bar on my collar, which meant I'm an officer. And he saluted. All I could do was return the salute. I get to interrogation, and the German guard pulls out a book, and the book says 332nd Fighter Group. I'm looking at the book and say, what the hell's going on? You know? And he opens it up, he gets to a picture and says, Lieutenant, isn't that you? What the hell did I say? He said, you were living on 28th Street? Your father works for such and such and such? And you came out of Chatsey, you were at Chatsey High School, and here are your marks, went to Clark College. He simply said that to show he knew more about me than I knew about myself. And remember, we leave here and we end up in Sargon, Germany. Let me see. Oh, listen, I wanted ways to see where I ended up. Stalag means camp. Luft means air. Luftwaffe. Waffe means army. Luftwaffe is air army. German air army. Just like the Air Force. This is Stalag Luft 3 in Poland. Strictly officers. I was in, oh hell, one of these close down here. The guys who were in my class, in my room. Semper and excretion. Always in They didn't get it. This is the room that I was in with 9 other men. When we came into this camp, there were approximately 100 American prisoners being brought into the camp. And the camp was crowded. All the rooms were filled. Each room had to take another man. So they sent a representative from each room out to the guys to pick the man who went in. There were about 100 of us all standing there ready. And down the line came many guys and said, I'll pick this, okay, I'll pick the one. They got to me, and all of a sudden, a great big tall hillbilly said, Bart Crockett, I'll take this boy. That's it, and I said, oh. Standing right behind him was an American colonel, a guy with a chicken on his skull. And he said, Lieutenant, yes, sir, you go with him. Sir. So I followed the guy and said, hell, I'm getting ready to fight, and we're going to fight like hell. Get in the room, and all of a sudden, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. All the guys are friendly. So I got a couple of days, and one day, security. Up and down the hall, guys are hollering, security. And things got real quiet. And in my room, the guy went to the bed, and the bed poster was a 4x4. He pressed something, and the damn door opened. They took out some papers, put them on the desk, and started passports. German passports. Then it occurred to me. Now I know why they chose me to go into that room. They didn't want the Germans to find it. The Germans were many times putting in a white guy as a spy, trying to find this room that was producing German passports. Why in the hell did they choose me? Anybody here put 2 and 2 together? They knew who the hell I am. It couldn't be a German. That's it exactly. Really, no, these, down the hall, one set of Facebook for approximately 150 men. We made our own alcohol. Oh yeah, sure. American ingenuity. Rice, log, sugar, all the components. That's homebrew in the world.
Uh-oh.
Creamy dream. Wine, women, and song. Now, after the first week, the first month, you forget about music. I'm serious. After the second, third week, you forget about alcohol. Fifth, sixth week, you forget about women. What do you remember? Food. You've never been hungry. We dream about food. Oh, here. If we had time, I would go through this as to what was in a Red Cross food parcel. And here was what the Germans would give us. Saturday Night Blues, sit there play the music and dream about the women. Oh boy. Some guys had nightmares. All of these men came out of airplanes shot down by German, either by the airplane or by flak. Flak was a hell of a thing. Big boyfriend, you're playing the field different, huh? Boy, the girls really caught him up back there. And I ain't got no bruise, no worries. We dreamed about our girlfriends back. Dear John, you got a Dear John letter? It was frightening. Some of the guys went bananas. Yeah, I got a letter. Didn't make any difference. Because I had too many shoes between them.
Helped you slim it out.
Some guys actually went bananas. If I go back, I can show you 4, 5, 6, 7. I had shoes 1, 2, 3, 4. What much more? Draft dodger. There are words that go along with him to describe the character. Here's German newspapers. I copied off some of the, what do you call them, cartoons that are published in German newspapers to show how they were being brainwashed. Every day we get the German newspaper, the Beobacher. And this, you notice the German, the Jewish noses. Yes, here's another one. The crazy part about it, find out now that the German people were being affected by this. I think what would happen to us, you see, this was in a POW camp in approximately March or April. I saw Dachau. I saw Dachau. Multiply 4, 5, or 6 piles and piles of dead bodies, where Germans were actually killing Jews. I saw Dachau 2 days after it was liberated by General Patton's Third Army. Then today, all of a sudden, I realized what Germany was doing is the same thing some of these characters today would do to blacks. I did some research, and I found out what Germany had done to South Africans. Germany, Hitler, had killed more than 15 million South Africans. So y'all, goddammit, take this home. Do some research. If you don't do some research, you're a damn fool. But the world and the country, with a president like, well, well, yes. You as blacks do not realize that there are people in this world who would kill us just piles of dead people. They're all naked. Because they were told they were gonna have, take showers. Lined up, walked into a building, closed the door, and put gas in there. Then in order to get rid of them, they burned the bodies. Well, that's the way, that's not 9 months later. That's when after I was liberated, I saw Dak out. They even used, the German newspaper, used this Roosevelt's terror flyers. North Americans murdering Americans. These are some of the cartoons they used. I was in a POW camp, and a guy came up and said, "Hey Jeff, there's some red-tails out there strafing a little town." Lo and behold, I drew a picture showing the P-51 Mustangs, all 4 of them, strafing the railroad station in Mooseburg. Me. We found this picture. No, here I am.
Yeah.
Here. Right here. I found that picture, which showed Stalag 7A near Mooseburg, April 29th, 1945. Liberated by General Patton's 3rd Army. That's a couple of days later, and a couple of hours, we liberated a Jeep and went to find this place where there was supposed to be some dead people. And that's what we found. We were about 20 miles from Dachau. Liberation Day. An actual picture of me in Stalag 7A, 1945. Double V for victory. And on the left, are the group, and then the 99th, 100th, 301st, and 302nd emblems. Came back to Tuskegee Army Airfield and became an instructor for the guys just about to graduate. Captain Hood, Captain Dart, First Lieutenant Jefferson, PFC Clark, and Sergeant Joplin. The airplane behind us is an HE-6, and the museum, the Detroit Museum at historic Fort Wayne, the city airport. We have an HE-6. The Tuskegee Airmen Museum has an HE-6. Came home, Tuskegee Army Airfield, to be an instructor, And all of a sudden, down the apron wake comes a beautiful woman who was a parachute technician. Ernestine's grandmother. That's right. I was caught. 4 or 5 years later, we got together in Detroit. We all shot down on the same mission. Oh, by the way, 2 guys were killed. Robert Daniels, well, first of all, I'm on the left. Robert Daniels, he was hit, and he didn't want to bail out. So he put it down in the water, and the Germans went out and picked him up. Macon, Richard Macon, and then Bob O'Neill. O'Neill got back to the squadron. The 3 of us were POWs for 9 months. I think that's it. Humanitarian, prisoner of war survivor, Purple Heart recipient, Congressional Gold Medal. That's when President Bush presented the Congressional Gold Medal. Knight of Legion of Honor. That's from French. President Bush gave a salute. See, many times when we were denied salutes. There we are. Macon, McGee, Lee Archer, Roscoe Brown, President. We had to honor Colonel Davis. Nate Carr and Lynn Isabel and I went to Virginia when he was inaugurated into the Virginia Hall of Fame. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Detroit RedTail would like to thank the monetary contributions of individual contributors and is brought to you by American Muscle, your Mustang aftermarket authority, the Detroit chapter of Tuskegee Airmen, Incorporated, the Tuskegee Airmen National Museum, and Detroit RedTail. Donate and help keep RedTail rolling the Tuskegee Airmen into the American car culture.